you being here today. This today is really going to be a fantastic day. And I just think that this broadcast is going to be an exciting one. And I just want to welcome my guests as they're here, which will no longer be guests. They've been on here long enough. So we don't have any guests today. We just have family here today. I appreciate each and every one of them being here. They don't know what it means to me that you've taken time out of your schedule to be here. And I want to say to those that don't know who I am Leslie Karen Montgomery, LKM Kingdom Living, Leslie's Lessons Learned. And we are here today. I'm going to be learning a lot today. And I'm just excited. I can't wait for us to get started. But I do want to say if you could like, share, and subscribe, I would appreciate it so much. That would be a good thing. And also, anyone that looked in the mirror today and wanted to know, is life worth living? I promise you, life is worth living. You know, sometimes you get somebody that's tall in front of you and you can't see, but you go around them and you can see everything that's going on. It's the same thing with life. We got to look around our situation that is in front of us to see that there's a better plan for our lives. You are unique, you are special, and God, not only does God, and we call him Elohim, loves you, we love you just as much. And my apostle is here today, and he wanted to talk to us. And I'm going to turn the platform over to him this morning and let him have his way.
Well, blessings and shalom to each and every one of you, to all of our beloved colleagues here in the faith, and to Lady and Prophetess Leslie Montgomery. It's always a joy to hang out with you and many things that you are doing. I thought I was on the help for a minute though, when you was like, she is kind and she is special and she is wonderful. I was like, just the help? It's like, well, okay. Ain't no anybody got pie around here? No, I'm just teasing. It's a joy. And then with my individuals I've come to really appreciate, and I've gone back over some of the programs you guys have done. Is this the 1212 community that I'm in right now? Is this it?
Yes.
This is 1212, which is Leslie's.
It's Leslie's Lessons Learned 1212, Team Charles. We're all here today. And VW Jones.
Honesty. Okay, all right, cool. As long as it's kingdom, I'm good. I'm Gucci.
Yes.
And to Michael and to Alycia, you guys have it's a joy, and your graciousness, your acceptance, and of me coming in and talking and dropping it and running. Thank y'all. To Team Childs, I got a chance to listen to you guys the other day, and you're the reason we're here today, actually.
Do we need to mute?
No, it's not just that. It was something that you guys had said, and Lady Childs, you guys gave something I think that everybody needs to really pay attention to in this campaign you guys got going called the Yes. I don't want to mess it up for whoever's produced that and putting that forward and having the conference. I don't want to mess up anybody's branding or labeling of that. So I was listening in and scrolling through, and I don't really stop to listen to stuff on Facebook or YouTube. I really don't anymore. I'm doing too much. But I sat and I stopped and I listened to you guys chat, and the authenticity and the organic flow you two had, much like when I was talking with Michael and Alycia once before. It's just organic, and it's like once you get to certain places in life that you sort of kind of like, hey, this is what it is. We in this to win this. So whoever got to be right gonna be right. Whatever's right gonna be right. I don't need to be right, and you don't need to be wrong. We just gonna do what we do. I was listening to to you two speak about yes, and it was funny because you were sitting on the other side of your wife. Well, I'm looking at you guys differently. I guess y'all be switching sides, which is cool. It means y'all keep it a being. But you were sitting on her left side, and you was sort of kind of looking over her, and you had all the googly eyes, like y'all was trying to get off camera to get ghosts. You know, y'all can go. You know, that's what I look like. I'm just gonna tell y'all right now. That's the image he gave me. It was holy, but I knew it was about to get wild. Anyway, so as we was talking, I said that is such a beautiful look. Much like when Mike is sitting with Alycia, he's sitting there like, I can't wait for this video to get over. Girl, come here. So it's just a nice. I don't know if y'all know, as a counselor for marriages, I see Cocoa Puffs all day in my office. You know? And to see that was just a very intriguing thing to me. It was a very encouraging thing to me. And then you were talking. You had the preacher voice. Teaching the group, and you leaned over to and you looked at her and you said, and so whenever you turn back, look, she did a look back over the cheek, over the chest, said, yeah. And so y'all was doing all that, and it was like all good. We were wealthy. I was feeling blessed by the words you were using, the statements you were making, and you know, when you say yes. And so I was intrigued. And then she said something. She said, yeah, but you know, I just said yes. And here's what she said. I verbatim, you go back in time. I can't put the time mark on the screen, but she said, but then I realized if I'm just saying yes by myself, it ain't worth it. And I said, ow, God, it's lying. I stopped, almost stopped my phone. Y'all owe me a new iPhone 14. And I immediately called Prophet Leslie. I said, you know, I'd like to dovetail on what she said, and she didn't know what she said, though what she said was pertinent to her situation and what she was expressing with her great man in that moment. And you edified whoever's watching that, right? I said, you know, it's interesting because though we were talking about the yes, and I started to do a little bit of, I looked over a couple of the yes speakers and the conference you guys had, I think in Dallas or something like that. I didn't get all to see everything, but I was like really happy as a kingdom propagator to see you all's demonstration through the various hors d'oeuvres before y'all got to that main entree. Is that okay to say that? All right. Now, I had to give all the backdrop so y'all know just the spirit in which this came from. So when I contacted Prophet Leslie, I said, I don't know how, but we need to be able to chat about that, because it was, though you're talking about yes, and I think Prophet Leslie was talking about Naomi and Ruth and one, and then I listened to Alycia and Michael talk about Alycia talk about some other part of yes, and then I listened to TEAMCHILDS on one other event, and you guys are systematic with how you communicate. Beautiful things for each of you. But we were talking about the yes. And when Lady Child said, yes, but if I'm doing it by myself, it ain't worth it. And instantly, I don't know how y'all know, you don't know how ministry works in me. Whenever I hear a word that needs to be expounded through the writ, my Rolodex just clicks, and automatically Yahweh took me to 1 Peter chapter 3. Now, I want us to go there for the sake of understanding it. And if we're on Restream, so I don't know how to get my Bible up on screen like I would usually do for those viewing. But if you all are here, if you're married or if you are single or you're thinking about marriage, and this is not like a marriage unit thing. It's not a marriage teaching, but it is so prevalent. When she said that, and he looked and he was like, mm-hmm. And she said, but if I'm doing yes by myself, it ain't worth it. And then you're speaking, and I remembered Brother Childs referencing the gardening, and he had this really pathetic little pot with the little thing inside of it, the little glass thing on it. Then he gonna pull his big green plastic bowl and say, so when you say yes, you can't stay in this little bowl, you gotta go to the bigger bowl. And I was like, Lord, Father. And as a land care, see, I do landscaping. I used to. We used to do upgrades and installs. So I'm looking at your thing. Get him out that little bucket, please, and get him in a real pot. Thank you very much, sir. And so I'm sitting here saying, yeah, this is going to work well. Here's what I want us to catch. There's a song we sing. I say yes, yeah, yes, to your will and to your way. And I say yes, yeah, yes, I will trust you and obey. And when your spirit speaks to me, with my whole heart I'll agree. And my answer will be yes, Lord, yes. That's the old Baptist Methodist in me coming out. Y'all don't mind none of that right there. But we be lying all the time, don't we? We be singing these songs and no good and dang nagget well. We ain't going to say yes to his will and his way all the time. We leave the church feeling sanctified and go home lying all day. Listen. So when she said, if I'm doing it by myself, it ain't worth it. And instantly, my mind went directly to my marriage counseling. And I said, that's a great statement, but yet it's biblically proven. And I want everybody to see this, because this is not just about the marriage of the Childs, which triggered this for the marriage of the kingdom. So we as brothers and everybody on this platform is a bride of Messiah. We are brides of Mashiach, waiting for his return, right? And so naturally, what's true in the natural is first true in the spiritual. The Childs represented the natural element of being a husband and a wife team. Now, I hope this can benefit everybody. Yahweh, let me be out the way and let your words speak clearly. 1 Peter 3:1. Likewise, wives, be in subjection to your own husband. I am not telling you, wives, to be in subjection to your husband the way Christendom has told y'all that. I'm just reading this because I want to get to verse 7. Likewise, wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives. While they behold your chaste conversation, wives, coupled with fear, meaning reverence. Verse 3, whose adorning, let it not be with an outward adorning of plaiting of hair. But wait a minute, let me pause here. God don't like ugly ladies, so don't just let it be an inward adorning. You need to look a little bit frizzly on the outside too. Oh, I'm back to the word, stay to the word, Jones. Stay to the word. Verse 3 says, whose adorning, let it not be outward adorning of plaiting of hair and wearing of gold and putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart there, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek, a quiet spirit. That don't mean she's timid and get stepped on. That don't mean she's timid and be told what to do and abused and said, you sit here and move when I say so. You walk 3 steps behind me to my left-hand side. And if I see you too far away from me, I'm gonna pull you like I got a dog on a leash. That is not what he's looking for, right? So he says, she should have a meek and a quiet spirit, which is in the sight of Elohim, of great price. Verse 5. For after this manner, in old times, Kodesh women, holy women also, who trusted Elohim. This is how they adorned themselves, being subjection unto their own husbands. Even as Sariah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, Master, whose daughters, by the way, you are, as long as you do well, and are not afraid with any amazement. Did y'all catch that? As long as you do well and not afraid with any adornment. Because some of these ladies like, I can do bad all by myself, Mr. Man. You ain't doing well doing that, child. That ain't doing well. That's you being you. All right, but watch. Verse 7. Here's why I came here. This is what Lady Childs triggered this avalanche of thought to share. Verse 7. Likewise, you husbands. So he's told the wives what to do. Now he's going to tell the women what to do. And this goes deeper than what we're presenting right now. But he says, likewise, you husbands, you house bands. I know you heard it before, but you're going to hear it different today.
Mm.
You house bands. Notice that the husband is the house. He is the one who bands the structure together. He builds the house, but it is the wife, the inner man, that makes it a home.
Mm. Yes.
I'm going to say that one more again. Okay. It is the man who builds the house, puts the sticks up, gets the spikes in the ground, sets the footers and the foundations, put the doors up, and does all that he does. But it is the woman, the inner man, that makes that house structure, once he's got it banded, a home.
Yes. You got it.
Okay, verse 7. Likewise, you husbands, dwell with your wife according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto. A better word to be used here would be as if she were. A better phrase is as if she were the weaker vessel, because she's not. And within Christendom, we have propagated, women, y'all be quiet, listen to your husbands. No, you don't listen to your husband. You listen to your husband, listen to Elohim.
Yes.
1,000, 1,000. It's gonna hit in just a minute.
It's hitting. It's hitting.
You don't listen to your husband because he dumb. You listen to your husband, listen to Elohim.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And this way, the resource that is the woman, knows you hearing from God. I got your back all day long, boo.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let me sew them buttons back on your shirt. I got you. That's a private joke. That's a private joke. If you don't know, mind your business. Okay, so love y'all. Hope y'all okay with that. Listen. So when you listen to your husband, listen to Elohim, which means your husband has to be a leader. That leader must not go to God without you. We've been saying these phrases in Christendom. The family that prays together, they stays together. Hallelujah. And I wake up at night and I anoint his head with oil. He sleeps. Why is you putting grease on him that early in the morning? I got to wear all this ivory soap to get the grease off my forehead. Why are you doing that? I put oil on his pillow. I put oil in his shoes. No wonder I almost broke my ankles trying to play basketball the other day. I'm out there trying to make a hard cut down in the paint, and I go hard in the paint all day. And you got my oils in the bottom of my. I twisted my ankle because you're anointing oil in my daggone shoe, and then my brand new Jordans too.
Yeah.
You putting oil on my shoes ain't gonna keep me from walking nowhere I don't want to go. I'm a 6'2" point guard, and I got to play all these big guys, and I got to make sure they get passes. I'm trying to plant my foot, and you got oil in my shoe, and I slipped all the way through my daggone shoe. Y'all don't want to talk to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So you don't listen to your husband. You listen to your husband. Listen to God, which means, husband, whenever you go to pray, you are bringing her with you.
Yes.
Whenever you open that word, baby, I feel like studying. I'm bringing her with me. Come on, let's look at this together, because definitely the two heads are better than the one. Yahweh said that. That's why he said in the beginning. It's not good for man to be. Y'all thought he said alone. He said it's not good for man to be all one. You see, because the man, the human, the very first man made, y'all call him Adam. Well, in Genesis 5, verses 1 and 2, it tells you that Elohim created man. Male and female created he them, but he called their name Adam. Them is plural, their name plural, Adam singular. So the first human that Yahweh made was masculine, ran the outer realms of the pulchritude. The womb man protected by the outer man, by the masculine. The feminine is inside the womb. That's why She's called the womb man. When Sabbath came, man was put to sleep, and Yahweh pulled the womb and gave it its own pulchritude, the same pulchritude of the man it made. And the two of them, he says, it's not good for you to do this job I gave you as one entity. So I'm going to separate the womb from the masculine, the feminine from the masculine. I'm going to make it from the same pulchritude, from this rib, from this flesh. He didn't get a new mountain and pull new dirt from a new mountain and give the womb man its body. Mm-hmm. Because if he would have done that, am I talking too fast?
Mm-mm. No.
Mm-mm. So when Yahweh pulled the womb man out of the human, if Yahweh would have given the womb man a pulchritude from another mountainside, because out of the dust Yahweh made the body. He reached down into the mountain, into the dirt. He breathed into that which he made, and man became a living soul, right? So if Yahweh would have given her a body from another mountain, she would be man's competition.
Mm. Yes.
To compete with the job of tilling the ground. But instead, Yahweh pulled and made her body from the man, which made her the complement, not the competition.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Very.
Okay, I need to move on because I gotta get going. So listen to what he says here. This is where we came. This is what Lady Childs and Brother Childs had me sitting here screaming. And I do have a crack on my screen, and I got a protective screen on my iPhone. Crack. I'm looking at the crack. See the light? Right there. Okay. Anywho, I don't want y'all thinking I'm lying. All right, so here we go. I got Zelle, I got Venmo, I got Cash App. Y'all can do whatever you need. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I was channeling a song I was listening to. Listen, here we go. Y'all okay?
Yes, we're good.
He's like, can you hurry up? Yes, sir. I'm hurrying up. Likewise, husbands, dwell with your wife according to knowledge, giving her honor, not because she's the weaker vessel. I need you to treat her as if she's the weaker vessel. And here's the reason we're here. All that other stuff we just talked about, being kind and how you should treat her, and the husband lesson we just learned, right? Watch this. That's the hors d'oeuvre. Here's the entree. This is what Lady Childs and Brother Childs triggered. One more time, verse 7. Likewise, husbands, dwell with your wife according to the knowledge of how you know her. Give honor to her. I don't care what she's done, where she's been. If you've made her your wife, you honor her, you hold her, you cherish her as if she's the weaker vessel, as if she's your fine china. She can endure anytime you drop her. She will always bounce back. But I need you, sir, not you, Brother Childs. I'm talking to all men. Yahweh's talking to men. He's like, I need you to handle her as if you dropped her, she would completely break apart. Mm-hmm. I made her better than I made you. She's the new improved version of humanity. She got longer hair. She got bigger glutes. She got a womb that can put out a child. She got different types of mammary glands. Bro, I made her better than you. If we could ever realize that the womb man was made better than the first man, we would be all right. So if Yahweh gave me something better than me, don't you think it's wise to cherish it?
Yes. Yes.
That's good. I want to scream. Go ahead. That's good.
Yes.
So he says, I need you to honor her. I gave you the best gift you're going to ever have. No, I gave you the garden. You're there to work. That's your job. But to get the job done, I gave you her. I made you better and then gave you her.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Cherish her. Honor her as if she's weaker than you.
Yes.
Don't make her a trophy wife. Don't make her timid and subservient to you. Honor her as if she were the weaker vessel. Because what you will do as a giver of seed you need to make sure that where you give it, it has the chance to produce rightly for the work you got to do. Now, this is not why we here, but treat her as if she's the weaker vessel. Like you can't afford to lose her, you can't afford to break her, you can't afford to drop her. Even though if you should mishandle her, I already built in resistance within her. She'll bounce back. Yeah, she'll be good.
Yes.
You know, yeah. So now he says, treat her as if she's the weaker vessel. Here is the part, Lady Childs. And this is why you owe me a phone, Lady Childs. I don't care what nobody says. She says, if I say yes, and I'm saying it by myself, or if I'm saying yes by myself, it's not worth it. And if we're not doing, this is what came up. And as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together. What? Of the grace of life. Did y'all know
That's your prayers.
that when you're married, if you're not together, your prayers are hindered?
Wow.
Yes.
So you praying against him and him praying against you, neither prayer is getting answered.
It's powerful.
Yeah. Yes. Received.
That's why you don't listen to him. You listen to him, listen to God. Sir, that's why you don't come back barking at her. You just pass the message from Elohim on to her.
Yes.
And she knows it's from him because she was with you when you got the message, because y'all both was in the word together. Y'all both was in the moment of Hikamoshanda, all that y'all do with all that. And just make sure y'all some soap with some Listerine, so y'all be breathing on everybody. Because it take you right at the spirit when the breath is bad when somebody's praying. You know, you right next to them real close to, say, and you're like, oh, that's the devil. That's not God right there. The breath. So anyway, you want to think, I'm sorry, my bad. I like my humor. So when you were in that same space together, praying together, Elohim gives instructions. And now he knows this ain't his ego. And more importantly, she knows the instructions we just got are not his ego. I'm not just back. And this is the problem with most of us women, most women, is that we back a man on words he said. And then when they land nowhere, I gave you the best years of my life. Well, you followed him. You didn't follow the God in him. And he didn't prove to you that God was in him by keeping you in the loop when him and God talked. If I come out of a meeting, I can tell you God said anything. And because we've been nurtured to teach that, hey, you listen to your husband, or wife, you submit yourself. Wrong. That's not kingdom. That's not how Elohim operates. Listen, here's why I'm gonna prove it. Last point, and I'm going home. Well, I gotta go to church. I'm gonna prove this point, then we're gonna go home. When Elohim had man, whenever Elohim talked to man, the masculine, which is the head, and the feminine, which is the womb, were all together in the conversation. I'm gonna say it again. The masculine, which is the head, the outer portion of the body, the protector, the legs, the strength, the yielder, the womb, which is the core of man. If you ain't got no core, your agility as a body is done. You don't have. You can stand up, sit down, roll over in the bed, but you ain't got no core. Somebody coming against you to break into your house, you're gonna be subservient when it's over. If you ain't got no good core, you have no real good agility. So when Yahweh put man together, he had the outer external. The man is the antenna. Can I say this to y'all out loud? Man is the antenna. The ears is what Elohim speaks to. It becomes masculinity's job to communicate, watch this, to the womb, what we're doing, where we need to go. The womb will help the body strengthen the muscles to go in that direction. Here is where Adam made his mistake, but watch this. When the meeting took place, Eve was in the meeting when the instructions came. When the serpent came to her, and I hate when Christian preachers is wrong. When the serpent, overshadowed by evil, came to them and said to her, did not Elohim say? She was in the womb when Elohim said to Adam, don't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. She was in the womb. Problem is, if she had been in the womb when the serpent brought that question to humanity as one, she would not have been enticed the way she was enticed, and she didn't sin, y'all. The woman didn't sin, man did. Here's why. Any instruction that Yahweh gave the antenna, because of how Yahweh structured the neurology, that when man got it in his brain, he'd send the signal from his brain down the spine, down the nerve shafts, and the body would do and know the message. But when Yahweh took the womb out, Adam's job was to tell her, Elohim said, don't eat the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Right.
He failed to do that.
It was so much.
If he would have told her what it was. She said, I heard tell. I heard. She knew a little bit. I had heard it. I heard it. He said, we shall not eat it. And I think he said, we shall not touch it. And when he said, I think, that's when evil knew Adam ain't do his job. Watch this. Where there's a crack in the hedge, the serpent will bite.
Wow.
Y'all, I hope y'all got that.
Yes.
And y'all stop talking about this serpent like the serpent's bad. The serpent is a beast of the field. It got used of evil. And so in this, I hope this is helping y'all. When man gets an instruction from Elohim, womb man needs to be there.
Yes.
Womb man was constructed to help the process, not as a tool, but a gift. She's not to be trampled on and abused, and she wasn't pulled from man's fist bone so he could punch her. She's not pulled from man's foot bone so he can step on her. She's not pulled from man's whatever so he can rule over her. They are heirs together of the grace. The word grace means power that comes producing a life that's pleasing to the Father. So you and I, even us in Christendom, we are supposed to be heirs together of whatever our husband Yeshua HaMashiach has got. Do y'all get that, or do I need to do one more passage?
No, we get it.
No, they said no, we get it. Okay. I'm gonna do it anyway.
I was going to say, do it anyway.
I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna tell you why. Isaiah 53. Watch this. Say heirs together. When you get Isaiah 53, say heirs together.
Heirs together.
What verse? Or just 53?
Isaiah 53, take me down. Let's go to verse number 10. We're going to read this real quick, and we all got to go after this.
Okay.
Heirs together.
Heirs together. Thank y'all. Verse 10. Yet it pleased Yahweh to bruise Yeshua. He put Yeshua to grief when he would make Yeshua's soul an offering for sin. Yahweh will see Yeshua's seed. He would see Yeshua, his seed, and he would prolong Yeshua's days. Did he get up? Did Yeshua get off that cross? Did he get out the grave? Did Yeshua get off?
Yes.
So he prolonged his days, right?
Yes.
Watch this. Watch this. He says, he shall prolong his days, that's Yeshua, and the pleasure of Yahweh shall prosper in Yeshua's hand. He shall see the travail of Yeshua's soul. Yahweh will be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant, Yeshua, justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. Here it is. Somebody say heirs. Verse 12. Therefore, I will divide Yeshua a portion like I gave to the other great men in life. Y'all didn't like that read? I'll read it again. Therefore, will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong.
Yes.
We are what Yeshua has obtained as a human being, obeying the word of Elohim unto death, rewarding him with prolonging of his days, and ultimately rewarding Yeshua HaMashiach, the highest seat any human being can ever get in the world. He sits in the right hand of the Father, making intercession for you and I right now. So everything that Yeshua has, watch. Ephesians chapter 1, last one. I know I'm done, I promise you. This is, you can blame Lady Childs for this. This ain't, these her.
I already did.
Blame her. Watch this. When y'all get there, say heirs.
I'm sorry, Ephesians what?
Ephesians 1. When y'all get there, say heir. I'm an heir. Heirs together. Pardon me.
Okay.
Heirs.
Heirs.
Because we are the bride of Messiah, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Watch this. Look at verse number. Go down to verse number 2. Go down to verse number 17. Watch this. That Elohim of our Yeshua HaMashiach, who is Yahweh of glory, may give unto you and I the spirit of wisdom and revelation in knowing him. Verse 18. For the eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that you may know what is the hope of his calling and what the riches of the glory of his inheritance is for the saints. Somebody say, I'm an heir. Say, I'm an heir. Come on, y'all. Say, I need it right now. Say, I'm an heir.
I'm an heir.
I'm an heir.
I'm an heir.
Verse 19 says, and what is the exceeding greatness of his power towards us who believe, according to the working of his mighty power, by the way, which he showed us, which he worked, which he wrought in Yeshua HaMashiach, when he raised him from the dead and then set him on his own right hand in heavenly places, far above all principality and power and might and dominion and every name that is named, not only in this world, but also in that world which is to come. Here is your heir. Here is your inheritance. Verse 22, and Yahweh hath put all things under our husband's feet. Oh, y'all didn't read it that way? I'm sorry. Let me read it. Let me read it again. I know y'all got the King James Version. Let me read it for you Christians the way y'all needs to hear it. Here we go. One more again. And he hath put, verse 22, and he hath put all things under Yeshua's feet and gave Yeshua to be head over all things to and for the church. So in order, listen, watch this. This is the part, lady, get on my girl. She all right with me. Listen, this is the part that listen, this is the part that made me scream. This, see how I did? I'm glad I had that in my hand. I would have dropped it. Listen, this is what made me trigger. Because it says he has, in order for us as believers in the earth, I am the bride of Messiah. Y'all that are out there on YouTube, Facebook, IG, wherever y'all at, listen to this, Periscope, wherever y'all listen to this, I want y'all to say it right now. Say, I am the bride of Messiah. Say it.
I am the bride of Messiah.
When you understand that we are heirs together of this grace.
Yes.
Oh my God. It just hit. And I screamed. I'm like, I hope she really understands what was said there. You are heirs together. Watch this. Over whatever medical diagnosis, it's under your feet if you're in him. Under whatever financial diagnosis, it's under your feet. You're above it when you're in him. You are over every issue of fight and malice and contraction, traps and entrapments. You are above them. You are, watch this, you are in him. You live in him, you move in him, you have your being. That's why we call them the house band. So if the wife is not in the house banded together, the wife and the husband can't have a beautiful home on their property. And thereby the world come by and see the work that they've done and glorify the Father which is in heaven. When the marriage of the body of Messiah to the church realizes what we have dominion over, it will trickle down into our marriages that we have in the earth, Mr. and Mrs. whoever. And you will be able to say, baby, we can't be at odds at night. We can't let this thing rattle us and we go to sleep with this on our mind. Let's come together, let's pray. And you know what? I'm not praying against you, I'm praying with you. So if I'm wrong, pray that Yahweh reveals it. If you're wrong, pray that Yahweh reveals it. And whatever way he says we need to go, we gonna put this before the Father. And Yahweh will give us instructions, because I can't get what I need to live without you, since you married to me and I've made a commitment to you. And you can't get what you need to live because we are married. So Yahweh honors the marriage. So therefore, I can't pray against you, you can't pray against me, and we can't pray separately.
Yes.
I'm gonna scream because I'm dignified, but I'm about to. It's gonna happen. Let me mute myself right now, because y'all not gonna get me out here.
And you said that iPhone, where you want to send it to?
I'm a phone thrower as well, and that's what's funny.
Did y'all did that? I mean, was that worth coming together for this?
It really was.
I mean, the confirmation, the confirmation has been so major for us, because just what we do, like you said, the way we show up is the way we show up. It is not for anybody else but what you see. And I thank you so much for that, because to hear that, it blessed me for her, because I've been telling her her voice is so powerful. So for her to hear this come from someone else, it has blessed me in so many ways. So thank you for that.
Yahweh be praised. And the thing about it is, it's not even, she didn't say a whole bunch. She just looked back over to you and she says, when I said yes, I then realized me saying yes by myself, it ain't worth it. And that's when 1 Peter 3:7 came in. Husbands, and it says, and we have the husband part, but we don't separate the husband part. We gotta get past that first part A of that verse 7, and get to part B when he unifies us. It says, because you guys, we, bride of Messiah, the husband and wife to whatever in the earth, we gotta realize, we gotta deal with each other according to knowledge, knowing that we are heirs together. I can't get what Yahweh has for me without this person. So I need to figure out whatever I got issue with this person. We got to figure this out.
Amen. If I can I chime in 1 second? This, I don't know if you can see it. This is the journal that started it all. This was my dedication for this journal in 2009, September 9th, 2009. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But the one part that, because God had me, this all makes sense, because God had me to pull out this journal earlier and reread what I had written. And in alignment with everything you've said, this whole dedication, in this one line, it says, Mike has assumed his rightful position. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. Mike has assumed, and that's the whole message. Like, God was like, once you two are in alignment, nothing is withheld. Like you've got to pray your husband into alignment. And once he is in alignment, and this all today, all of this makes so much sense. So I thank you for your radical obedience. I thank you for calling Leslie. I thank you. this right here, I'm gonna watch it and rewatch it. And I was laughing because I didn't get a chance to watch the Child's video because we've been doing, ripping and running. I said, Lord, they done got us called to the principal's office. I ain't know what was going on. I said, oh, when she said that, I felt like I was going to the principal's office. I said, what they done.
Leave it up to me, right?
What did Tiff do?
She gonna
Lord
look back
have
over-
mercy.
She gonna look back over her left side like, Father, he down in the dirt. He's like, you understand? Look at you,
Look, Apostle.
It was the word that was used, and to your point too, Alycia. She left us.
She dropped off something. Must be something with there. She'll come back on.
Cool.
There she go.
There she is. Welcome back. Welcome back. Am I too old? I think I'm.
Can she hear?
Nah,
I don't think she can hear yet.
Here.
She's frozen. So is their connection. I guess that's why Mike keeps dropping.
Okay.
But I wanted to say this, Apostle, real quick. Rik just turned 60 not that long ago, and she had everybody do a video. And in the beginning of the video, she comes on and she's like, "Hi, my king." I mean, I'm like, wait a minute, should we be in a bedroom?
Exactly. Didn't they say sat and she'd slide? Wait a minute. Really going on here?
Oh man.
I never told her that, but I was like, wait a minute, she need to be doing this one by herself.
You know what, Prophet Leslie? And you know what, Charles? We don't understand how important that statement is when she says, "Hi, my king," because it was a great pastor friend of mine, Clarence Oliver, years ago, and he sort of kind of helped me to sort of kind of unpack this with a statement he made, pretty much like we've done here. And he said, Psalms 23, until we say the Lord is my shepherd, he is not. And say it again.
Yes.
Until we say, like David said, as a shepherd himself, Yahweh is my shepherd. And because he's my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me listen. But when you come and you say, "Hey, my queen, hey, my wife," she is not your wife, he is not your husband until you say he is, until you say she is. It doesn't matter what ring, what paper you got, until you wake up every day and say, "My king, my queen, my wife, my husband," because we fickle. Just like we can say, "God is my God" today, and tomorrow I'll be serving the enemy.
Yes.
So when you said that triggers for all of us to know that, no, this is my wife. And I'm telling my wife, not anybody else. That because when you tell your wife, "You're my wife," she's in turn, remember, you gave her that seed. She's going to give you back that same, "You're my husband." It don't matter who, what, when, how, whatever's out there. There is nothing that will deter that bond, at least in that day. Oh, because we don't realize this is a daily thing.
Yes. Very. Every day.
Daily thing, y'all. You could be saved today, got saved on Sunday, and in the world on Tuesday. And if you follow this doctrine of Christian that says once saved, always saved, we all gonna go straight to hell. I'm not trying to go to hell. I need to be saved. I need to hear him say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." So if I get saved on Sunday and I rob a bank on Tuesday, and the rapture takes place at Tuesday 12:30, and I'm robbing the bank at 11:30, and I didn't repent for robbing the bank, I'm going to hell. I don't care what they said on Sunday.
Yeah, you're right.
So every day when you wake up, you call her your queen. She calls you your king, her husband. Y'all want king, queen, husband, whatever you want to call it. That's putting that person in position. Look at what David says. Yahweh is my shepherd. And Yahweh done fought in so many nations. He knows so many demigods. He knows who's what. He knows Kamesh. He knows Milcom. He knows Ashtaroth. He knows Dagon. He knows all these different gods. He done defeated and kicked down their tabernacles and temples. But what he does, he turns around and he says, you know what, after all the hell I've been through, Saul trying to kill me, all I did was serve Saul. And these people trying to get at me, I've been outraged. I've been an outlier. I've been an outcast. I've been an outlaw for no reason. But you know what? When all of that, Yahweh is my shepherd. He kept me. He led me beside paths of still what. And though I was walking through the valley of the shadow of death, his rod. When does that make? You know what? I'm going to leave y'all alone because clearly I've overstayed my.
No.
Let me say this. This is so powerful to me because I was sharing with Rick and I was like, people are really seeing marriage in a total different light than what God intended. And I said, to become one that looks, I was like, we have to unpack that. And I said, babe, and I said, we have to do this thing how God intended marriage to be. And I said, we can't be separated. We can't. I said, we cannot be separated. Like the world has done such a disservice towards marriages. And I said, we're not even supposed to keep secrets with each other. And
exactly.
I said, we got to do this thing right. And I was like, our desire is to bring hope to people because they gotta see somebody doing it. They have to see someone doing it. And the last thing I said, it's not about separation. And I said, we gotta become one totally, spiritually, mentally, and physically, like just totally one, how God intended us to be. And, you know, and to come on here and then you break it down as far as the house band and all of it. Like, I have some more like digging in to do, but you have really blessed my soul today.
Well, it's your fault. Blame yourself. and that's the thing. And Rick, I know you're going to say something, but the thing is, what you said is also again profound. When you marry, this is the thing, and we understand this biblically. We understand this in our walk in faith. We can't keep anything back from Messiah. And here's something that's going to be mind blowing. And I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm just telling you what I know, not what I heard. Sabbath is how we make sure, not so much Yeshua, but the God that gave us Yeshua to be our husband. Again, Yeshua kept Shabbat. When we keep Shabbat, we're with our husband, hearing the instructions of the Creator. So now me as the bride can leave out a Sabbath and know what my husband and the God of my husband, which is my God, are saying is accurate. And now I can go in confidence and walk through the next 6 days of my work. That whole thing of keeping secrets from each other. Listen, I tell people who are doing what they do and marriage and again, this is not just about marriage, guys. This is about kingdom.
Yes.
The marriage is a demonstration of kingdom. And so when we understand marriage the right way, like you said, Lady Childs, you know, we got this wrong perspective. We really do, because we have to be one. He told him, he says, it's not good for man to be alone, all one. But then Adam realizes after sitting with Yahweh in Shabbat, because that's when that happened, that separation took the womb man out. That was all in the Sabbath. That's why Moshe says, blessed is he who, I got too many scriptures in my head. Hold on. I'm coming for you, Rick. He that dwells in the secret place lives in the secret place. That's what Shabbat is, of the Most High. Y'all thought it was your little closets that you made because that movie, and you put your pictures and stuff up, the prayer room. That ain't it. Your closet is your talit. That talit on Shabbat, the secret place is Shabbat. He that dwells in the Shabbat of El Elyon shall abide under the shadow of El Shaddai. And I will then say, watch this, I will then say, Yahweh is my refuge. What? Yahweh is my fortress. What? Yahweh is my God. What? Yahweh is who I trust in. You put him in position. So if you do that in the spiritual, it should trickle down into the natural.
Yes.
What's done in the natural is first true in the spiritual. Rick, I'm gonna be quiet. I gotta go too. What you got?
I know he had something to say. I just wanted to remind you, you wanted to say something. You was going to say something to Alycia before you head out. I don't know if you remember.
The enemy must be big mad.
Alycia, real quick before we go to Tim. Alycia, your part too, when you say you want to go back and go over this, what you just mentioned was that whole part, and Lady Childs, you too, if you want to. I only read Peter to get us to verse 7, because putting it in context is everything. Don't just get the content. That's what we got wrong with preachers right now. We just preaching because we read something. God says, see, it's right there. But did you read what he meant? Okay, so in verses 1, 1 Peter 3, from verses 1 through verse 4, that's what you did, Alycia. Watch this. Watch this. You were trying, your prayer was God put him in alignment. And I told you can't pray against your husband, right? But watch how we now, and I hope that everybody listening to this, anybody thinking about marriage, anybody who's already married, especially if you're older trying to get married again, please don't think because you was married before you know marriage, that's why you're not married. Let me move on. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3. Okay, it'll click. It'll hit sooner or later. It'll hit. Okay. I've been married so many times. Listen, here's what you did. Likewise, you wives, be in submission to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, right? That if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wife. Meaning, I know my family is out of kilter. I know my man is not assumed the role, but I can't preach at him. I just got to live in front of him and let him know I'm here. Whatever I do to work through it. That's how you win her in conversation. And we made the mistake because women like to talk, and they do. That's a good thing because that talk is them giving out. But women like to hear. That's why they talk so much. The issue is what they're hearing determines what they talk. Father, don't do it to me. Listen. Listen. I'm sorry. I gotta go. I know I gotta go. When we hear the word conversation, we think chatter. The word conversation in the Greek here is the Greek word G391. It means anastrophes, right? And what it means is behavior.
Really?
Go look it up. G391. It does not mean talk. It means behavior. So Alycia, once you got it, your behavior helped your husband get it. Now, if you just started talking, you'd have drove him off. Because one thing you don't do to a man is tell him what he need to do. And he ain't asked your opinion. I'm just trying to tell y'all what I know, not what I heard. Okay? I'm just
speaking to the choir.
I've done it both ways. I'm a product of the product.
And that's where women think that they debase themselves, and people say, why are you submitting to that? You're not submitting. What you're doing is if you know because you knew Mike wanted to make it work, right? Regardless of everything. And you knew you wanted to make it work. Y'all was like, should we? Is it worth it? That's the question. But we do want each other. We just don't know how to work around each other, right? So at the end of the day, it's your behavior that says, listen, I can punch you in your throat right now. I really can, but I'm not going to. Because I know inside you really like me anyway. I know you like me. I'm going to give you two options. You're going to be with me or we're going to be together. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, what I'm talking about. Okay, you know, because I'm a person, I give you option. You gonna be with me, or we gonna be together. 1,000, 2. Okay, y'all, somebody gonna get it later on. Okay, so what you did was your behavior. Let him know, you know, she ain't really pressing and stressing me like that, and she's being soft, not like she can't be hard. She's being conscious of her actions, not just her words. And you will help him morph. And that's what Messiah does to us. He's just there, waiting for us. His hand is always outstretched. He ain't even saying much. I already gave you the word. He ain't saying nothing. That's why he says, my hand is forever outstretched towards you. Where you left me, I'm sitting. I'm not coming down to where you are because you chose to go down there. But I'm not going to go where we're supposed to be going until you come back to me. I'm going to sit right here. Till you come back to me, that's what I'm gonna do. Y'all don't want to talk to me today. I gotta go preach. Why y'all holding me up? I got a whole church service to go. Bye. I got to go. This season, Brother Rik, what you got? Alycia, does that help?
Yeah. Now I'll just make this real quick. So through this whole process, this is where Team Childs was born, because in our marriage, it felt like ownership for me. And I believe that us becoming a team, there's I in marriage, but there's no I in team. And I felt like I was being owned, and there was a lot of interference. Like you said, the chatter, the words, and I couldn't hear, you know, what God wanted me to do with that chatter and that interference. When we became a team and we started looking at each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we became one. So as we show up, it to a lot of people see it as a, you know, when I say I'm Rik
And I'm Tiff,
and we're Team Childs, that's how we show up every day, because we're putting in the work spiritually, mentally, and physically. So thank you so much for that confirmation, but also for the understanding that this assignment that we're on is so much bigger than us, because other people are receiving it.
And I want to say thank you for Alycia, just for the Yes Conference.
Yes.
For the Yes Conference. It has birthed so much into so many people too. I'm still floating.
Can I say something real quick? Have you ever heard her speak this low?
Or be this quiet?
Won't God do it? Won't God do it?
Yes, yes,
Lord.
yes.
Look at the Lord.
There is a God.
I love it. I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you.
So, this is what Fivefold Ministry is about. And one is see everybody win. No one person trying to be the highlight of anything. And I got something to say. And that's one thing. Let me caution every orator out there. Let me give you 30 years of oration wisdom. Don't make your point.
Mm-hmm.
When he gives you something to say, you live it first.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what revelations I get in my time of studies, I have to, before I make them a sermon, I have to live that out for at least 6 months to almost a year before you ever hear the sermon of it. Because I got to know how I failed in it. I got to know how I succeeded in it. I got to know how I thought I was better than myself in it. I got to learn every aspect in order for it to be effective. So when we think oftentimes that God has given us this mission, he's given us this plan, he's given us one mission, to till the ground.
Yes.
And if you tilling your ground right, when your neighbor comes by, Alycia, it was Alycia. I think it was Alycia. Yeah, it was Alycia with the cutting of the grass. When you till your ground rightly and the neighbors walk by it, you don't have to say, I till the ground. I do good grass. They're gonna be like, yo, how come you don't have crabgrass? How come you don't have wheat? Can would you mind talking to me about how you did that? You don't have to advertise a thing. Your advertisement should be in your demonstration. Again, conversation is behavior.
Mhm.
And that's why when Lady Childs was talking to you, her demonstration told me she gets it in her soul. My job to come along now as an apostle is to say, here's what that was.
Mm.
What that looks like. That's why Alycia got called to the principal's office, because of y'all. But I'm putting in a claim for my iPhone. I'm telling y'all right now. No, I'm just joking. Just joking.
She had buttons in her pocket though.
Thank you guys for having me.
She still got work to do. She still got work to do. Thank
Father,
you.
we do thank you for
Thank
coming on.
you.
We know
Oh,
you
this is
have to
powerful.
go. I don't know if you want to do a part two, because you just tapped the surface of this stuff.
No,
but
yeah. See, this is the thing about what apostles have to do. Our job is to get you to the water. Now, once you get to the water, you have to start looking at, why is this water healthy for me? Why did the shepherd lead me here? And then you'll start to look from the water. You'll see the trees that are fed from that water. You'll start herbing in those trees. You'll start getting the different types of herbs and the fruits from those trees, because that riverbank is calm. And now you can explore it because the shepherd led you there, and you can enjoy it all. So now it becomes your job, though you're at the water, you determine how much you drink, and you determine what on that base of that water bank and river bank you eat. So that means now you guys are going to start uncovering more things about this. If you ever want to chat about it and try to get confirmations or get conversations about it, we're here for you.
so I know you also said that you wanted to do something on men and women working together, even in the body. So I don't know if you want to tie that into this or stay separate,
I
but
have this nasty pet peeve for,
the body.
yeah, and the issue of, I'm gonna get in trouble, Father. All right, listen, I'm always in trouble. Listen, I have a big issue, Lady Childs, again, in this segment. If we're not one, it's not working. So if we're the body of Messiah, how can the bride be divided?
Hmm.
What do I mean by that? Wait for it. Here it comes. Stop with the men's conferences and the women's conferences, because we are the bride.
Mm.
How is the man going to understand what the women are dealing with if he's not in the room? How are the women going to understand what the men are dealing with if they're not in the room? Can we just have human conferences from now on? How about we do that?
Mm-hmm.
God called me to the women. Then you are incomplete, and you should not be on a pulpit. God called me to the men. Then you are incomplete. God called us to the whole body. He called us to the whole body. He didn't call us to just work on the hand. He didn't call us to just work on the knee. He called us to work on the body, and it starts with the brain, which means we got to hear him and let it do its job naturally. And when we sleep in Sabbath, the brain, having new data, having new information coming into the ear gate and the eye gate, now the brain sits the body down, and while the body is sleeping and resting, the brain starts to work all the issues out. That thing blows my mind with neurology. We need to get that in Christendom. So that's the issue. I really want us to stop with the men and women conferences, because it's just a matter of somebody making a brand, trying to make money. You can still profit from bringing a holistic approach to being saved.
Yes.
My name is
Yes.
Apostle Alycia Jones. I love y'all to life. I promise you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Yahweh, I got it. Father, I forgive them for breaking my phone. I forgive them, Father. I do. I forgive them right now, and I forgive them. Yes. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm just overloaded. I just want to go somewhere and cry now. But Apostle, we appreciate you coming on. I appreciate
Thank
Mike and Alycia and Rik and Tiffany being available. When I told them, they were like, "We'll be there," and I appreciate that so much.
Amen.
I'm just so moved right now. Only thing I can say is thank you.
Yahweh be
Thank
praised.
you. And anytime, as I said before, just let me know like you did this time, and we'll make it work.
All
Yeah,
right.
as Yahweh leads, it's been a joy.
Thank,
Amen.
thank you,
Thank you,
Apostle.
Sister Cynthia.
Thank
Thank
Amen.
you.
you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Tiff. Sorry, Team Child.
Thank you.
Lisa, you better hurry up. You and Mike better hurry up and come up with your name.
I know, I know, I know. All right. That was awesome. Awesome,
Yes.
awesome, 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 awesome.
So I pray everybody has a good day today. Thank you so much for being here and staying with us. And just, I hope your hearts is overwhelmed with what you heard to make you want to make some valuable changes in your life so that you can live a better life. When I think about our lives with the Savior, when I think about our lives with Yeshua and with Yahweh Elohim, and the connection that we should have with him. When people start talking about that connection, something on the inside of me just begins to whelm. I know what it is. It's like my spirit connects. And that's what we have to get in a place that our spirit will begin to connect with the things of Yahweh, to understand and have clarity and what he's saying. Yes, it's vitally important that the marriage understand, the ones that are married understand what our role and purpose is. Listen to me, it is. All right. Um, y'all understand what your role and purpose is to the body, to the body. No matter where we are, what we do, we need to understand that we all have to lead people back to the foundation. And that's what it's all about. And I think it's so beautiful that he used a married couple to show people how intimate we need to be with him,
Mhm.
how in covenant we need to be with him. And I'm going to let us go, but please understand your relationship with the Father. Please understand that it's more than just going to church. It's more than just singing in the choir or serving in the hospitality community, whatever. That your relationship with the Father is the most important thing to your life. And if
Mhm.
you're not spending time with Him and allowing Him to do what He needs to do in you, don't say that He's the one you follow. Learn to follow his righteousness, his peace, and then you'll have joy because the joy comes from the word, knowing him, knowing his word. And most of us don't know his word. So as you leave today, I pray that you were blessed, richly blessed, not just blessed, richly blessed, that it would change your life forever. And until next Sunday, I pray that you have an amazing week and that there's nothing that will separate you from his love because he's waiting on you.
Mhm.
God bless you. Shalom. Have an amazing week to all of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Amen. Amen. All right. Love you all. See y'all next